.88 seconds. Charles Barkley.
Johnson around his man, drives, he scores.
Chambers scores. So Lamar Jackson is going to Stoudemire scores. Rejected. What a defensive effort that time. And Crowder looking for the alley.
Kevin Durant breaking out here. With a long one, won't get it. Long rebound. Finds Booker. This is
Welcome in, Planeteers. I'm your host, Jake, and here with Suns Planet. And I believe Kevin's going to be joining us in just a little bit. Unfortunately, Hammo's not feeling 100% today. He got bit by something in the down under, I'm guessing, and so he is taking today off. And I believe I'm running the keyboard switch. So to get started, it might be a little bit slow. But I appreciate you guys coming in. And today, we're going to be talking a little bit about some Suns Media Day predictions. We're going to be talking about some Suns some kind of NBA predictions for the year. And the Suns signed a fan favorite to a training camp deal. We'll get into that a little bit. But first, we're going to start with a little bit of a toasting, so to speak, to the legend, the man just over my right shoulder. Yes. Right shoulder, the great Al McCoy. Al, we lost Al, was it about last Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I was actually on vacation at the time, and it really it took some wind out of the sails, to put it lightly. Now Al was up there in age, over 90 years old, and that's what happens, sometimes. And it was just, it's always unexpected. I mean, isn't it? Al McCoy, the longtime voice of the Phoenix Suns, 51 years. Keep in mind that Al has been calling games, I believe, almost as long as there's been a franchise. He was there through all three NBA Finals runs. You see that we've used him in the outro all the time. The Gar Hurd shot, sent it into triple overtime against the Celtics in the 70s. He was there for that. And he was actually doing the radio and the TV at the time, and he did that up until, I believe, the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. And then there was kind of a shift. The NBA kind of wanted to see teams kind of split those assignments. And so he switched full-time to radio, which is actually kind of how I came to know Al. So in 2001, I would have been in high school at the time. I finished up class of 05, so I would have been about a freshman. Internet in the Midwest, a little bit spottier back then. So it was really probably when I went off to college in 05, in the fall of 2005, that I really discovered Al McCoy. And it was because of you could stream NBA radio for free, online on NBA.com. So before there was ever a League Pass, or maybe the predecessor to League Pass, we had connections to the radio broadcasting. So for the international fans that might not be as familiar with it, there's kind of regionalism with sports. For example, like if you are, let's say you visit Chicago, you will, and it's football season, you'll probably be able to catch the Bears game if you're in that market area. There also could be blackouts because they want to try and drive more attendance to the game. But essentially, me being in the Midwest in Iowa, like where Suns Worldwide, for those of you who follow Suns Worldwide, also know, we were not considered part of the traditional Phoenix Suns demographic. So you kind of had to go in search of them. So you would always catch them on TNT, when they were doing the national broadcast game. So that's, where I'd get to see them, of course. And the 7 Seconds or Less Suns were a phenomenal team. So they actually got quite a lot of national attention. But for the games that I couldn't, when I was away at college and, either getting a little homesick or studying hard or whatnot, I could tune in to Al McCoy broadcasting the game. for those of you that might be like baseball fans, the closest comparison I would make is like he was the Harry Carey of the Phoenix Suns, just like an iconic voice that, you know, you could be driving off for hours and hours on a long road trip, and you know Al would keep you company. And so that was what was kind of phenomenal about Al McCoy, was he just had an ability to keep you connected to the franchise, even if you weren't there at the game. You know, if you're working when they were playing, you could still be kind of with them, so to speak. So he just had a way of building the excitement. Of course, he's known for so many great catchphrases. The Nash Rambler, when Steve Nash was making baskets. Shazam, of course, is most well known because he was actually a big comic book fan growing up on a farm just a little bit of northwest where I'm at. So I believe it was Williams, Iowa, if I'm not mistaken, which is about 45 minutes outside of Des Moines, which would be the biggest city. No, he just, as he always pointed out, and like a lot of the times he was able to talk that, going into the Hall of Fame, that he was just a farm boy from Iowa. And to be able to go out and then become the voice that's most tied to a sports franchise that obviously we all are in love with. That's pretty amazing. I couldn't tell you hardly any other announcers from any other teams. So that I follow. I mean, obviously, and I watch a little bit of the television broadcast now, so I know, the Eddie Johnsons. Of course, I've known some of the other radio broadcasters that have worked with Al, and so they're all really phenomenal people. I actually had the chance to meet Al McCoy at a game, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I think now, where it was really I still remember Josh Jackson was on the team, and we were really struggling. It was just oh, hold on one second here. We gotta, that's where we are missing our guest host. And so I'm working on that all of a sudden. Let's see here. Let's put that in there. So my story about Al, I actually waited. We won that game. We actually went on a short 2-game win streak. And I stayed after the game, and I was kind of impressed that so many of the players, the media, all the fans just cleared out. And the game was over, and we weren't doing super well. It was kind of in the middle of the season. And so I just waited there patiently, holding on to hold on to the Al McCoy book. And Tim Kempton stood up. He had just finished his part of the radio broadcast, and he stepped away and said that Al would be with me in a short moment. He'd kind of seen me standing there, as close as I was allowed to get to courtside at the end. And he popped up, signed the book. I got, hi, Jake, good luck. Shazam. That's going to be hard to see. There you go. Yeah. Shazam, from the living legend himself. We talked a little bit about Iowa. He goes back. He used to go back and visit the University of Drake a lot, which is actually where I live near in Iowa. And so we were able to chat just a little bit about it, and I was able to talk to him a little bit about just kind of the importance that he had in kind of keeping me connected to a franchise, even when I was away at university. So I really appreciated that. I want you, to really, I know you guys all like the outro. Really pay attention to it. He was there for a lot. The triple overtime. There's 2 triple over. He was there for the first 2 triple overtimes in NBA Finals history. The Gar Hurd shot that sent it to triple overtime against the Celtics, and then of course with Barkley and going up against Jordan and the Bulls, he saw it again. And of course, he unfortunately saw us come just a little bit short against the Milwaukee Bucks as well. Certainly the passing of an icon. To his whole family, we extend our condolences, of course, and we're going to miss listening to him. I'll be honest, even though with modern day like League Pass, I catch probably 90% of the games, on the television. But I will say that, when I was traveling, when I was working, that kind of stuff, I preferred to switch over to the radio broadcast and listen to Al McCoy. But who didn't was Kevin. Kevin never really cared for radio.
Yeah, you guys, I'm sorry. I was like,
No problem, Kev.
my voice tells you that I just woke up.
It
Uh,
does.
uh,
Well, thanks for coming in, Kev. We were just, I know you did not have the pleasure of getting to meet Al McCoy himself, but I mean, you know a little bit about the impact that he had. And, you know, I don't know if, you know, there's one thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There's a great clip about Al that the Suns put together about 6 years ago. And oh, for those interested, I do really recommend the checking out this book because not only do you get some stories from Al, you get a lot of stories from other Suns icons. Neil Walk, Eddie Johnson's in there. Joe Gilmartin, for those who remember the Phoenix Gazette, I remember Gilmartin actually writing a lot for the Suns. And that was kind of like Joe was the writer for the Suns and Al was the voice to me. So like those two guys, like, you know, made me feel like I was a part of something. And you know, that's what we always, you know, as fans, we that's kind of, we seek that camaraderie. And those guys were the ones that were making it happen for sure. Tim Kempton's in here, Vinny Del Negro, Hot Rod Hundley, who you see over my other shoulder as well. Jerry Colangelo's in here. So some great stories. Recommend you check out The Real McCoy to check out Al McCoy. And let me see. Oh, of course, this might take me a second because all of a sudden there's a ton of content that came up. So do you want to share any quick stories while I search for this?
for sure. So, like you said, I don't have like any personal stories about Al, but there was just this one preseason that back in the dark days. I remember not all preseason games are like in League Pass. So there was one um, preseason game. I think it was against the Portland that I had to listen through League Pass Radio. They have such thing. So that's when I first heard Al McCoy's voice. But you know, even though I'm international, I've always felt that that legendary like status of his because just by the players, you know, respecting him and people talking about him with the highest regard.
Yeah.
So in those ways, you know what type of person he is and um, what he's about.
Mm-hmm. He's just, you know, I still remember when Robert Sarver put him in the Ring of Honor, and I mean, gosh, he would have been maybe early 80s, early to mid 80s at that time. He just like he kind of marches to the beat of his own drum, you know, like Robert Sarver's trying to be like, look, Al, look what I did for you. Here's a big like banner and you're in this. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I remember watching it live, that I think they gave him a grand piano because he does like playing piano. In fact, that's one of the very first pictures. Right on the back here is a picture of, let's see if I can get it there, of a very young Al McCoy. There we go. You can kind of see it. Sorry about that. Playing basically when would be like a high school like band. So I remember,
awesome.
yeah, they're like, "Oh, congrats, you're in the Hall of Fame," and he was just sitting there like not listening. He was just playing on the piano that they had just gifted him, and he was rocking and rolling. So I recommend that you all, maybe not right now, hang tight. We got some more content here to cover, but check out this clip that the Suns put together. This is actually about 5-6 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Let's pull it up. We don't need YouTube TV right now, but we can hit that.
Al McCoy is the voice of the Suns.
Rebound Barkley. Oh, brother, Sir Charles.
One of the nicest men I've ever met in my life.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay with us as the Suns get set to shine here on their home court.
Well, he's the legend. There's no question about it.
If he doesn't go down as one of the top 2 or 3 all time, something wrong.
He's the Vin Scully of Phoenix.
They haven't thrown it in yet. And it's stolen by Kevin Johnson. JJ steals the ball. And the Suns will win it. Oh, brother.
When I think back about people who have made incredible contributions to this franchise for decades, not just years, decades. You've got to put Al right at the top of the list.
I'm just a farm boy from Iowa.
All right. Yeah,
It's an awesome video.
yeah, I mean, check that out. The Suns put that out. He's just, god dang, he's just a nice guy, man. He really is. I'm from the big city, Mr. Voida. I'm from a town of 80,000. We ain't no farm boys out there. When we went to the mall, we'd say sometimes let's go to the good one because we had two. When I was like 18, we did. We finally got a second one. Either way, no, Al McCoy, the legend. I mean, like I said, the catchphrases alone, the catchphrases, Heartbreak Hotel, just like missing that game-winning shot, or maybe the Suns had a lead and the other team stormed back and won it by one. Oh, Heartbreak Hotel. When we were up big and the other team just couldn't come back, you can put this one in the old deep freeze. And I mean, he just had so many sayings, for so many of these, players that, like I said, it animated it. The only way I could kind of describe it is that he was just that tremendous talent that could get hooks in you and bring you around for the whole game and make every play feel a little bit special. It reminds me a little bit of how like my dad used to talk when, as my father, he was born in the 30s. So he grew up listening to like radio plays and like radio stories. Like the Pirates would come on after school and he'd sit there in front of the radio and like listen to the story. And he would tell me about just like how exciting a really great broadcaster could make a story. And some of these like radio actors, that's what Al's skill was. He made like your emotions ran with Al. He's going to be deeply missed. The Suns have some tremendous talent, and as we saw last year. It's rest in power, I guess, as they would say to the great Al McCoy, because you're a legend, and you had fans all over the country and sometimes all over the world when they were able to catch some of that stuff. So, I see it. Yeah, let's win it all for Al. We saw Devin Booker actually post a very, very sweet picture of him and Al kind of walking arm in arm that he posted when he had heard the news. So I remember when Booker gave him his jersey. That was pretty touching too. I mean, because you always kind of wonder, I think sometimes with professional athletes when they come to a storied franchise, and storied, I mean, every franchise kind of has their stories. So, I mean, like not in a brand new expansion league, but like Booker comes, he plays for a few years, and he even mentioned it, that, Al was calling the games from the radio his first few years, but then it kind of took him a little bit of time. And then he realized the impact that Al had, that the fans were almost as excited to see him sometimes as they would, their favorite players. So, Booker realized, hey, this guy, he creates some magic. So, it's great to see phenomenal people recognize phenomenal people. I won't get too much more sentimental. Just like I said, I was kind of nervous. The stadium security was very polite, actually, as I asked if it would be okay if I just like wait there until Al finished his broadcast so I could get him to sign his book. And I still remember the guard being like, I mean, you're all supposed to get going, but yeah, it's Al. Like, so I got to hang out there. And I mean, it's like, I wasn't going to like go rush into the locker room and ask for autographs from players. I was just there to see Al. And so I saw that. I saw, I got to see him and meet him. And then recently I saw some of the news coming out of the local Arizona sports channels and news channels about some fans going and leaving flowers right in front of the stadium in Al's memory. So that's what I mean. Like, truck drivers, night workers, college students away from home, fans from other states. It was Al's voice that we were listening to feel like we were still there with all the fans in the stadium. So an amazing person for sure.
Very cool.
But Well, we've got some good stuff to talk about. It's not going to be only sadness and remembrance, although as I said, a toasting as well to the man. But Suns Media Day is coming up, Kev, on Monday, and we know some of our favorite Suns podcasters are going to be going. Suns Geeks going, Suns Jam guys are going. I'm PHNX. Your boy Gerald's going to no doubt be there as well. So. Every year it's kind of exciting. Marks kind of the official tip-off, so to speak.
Yeah.
And gives us a little bit of fodder. We actually already got some great content. An interview was already done with Coach Bud where he said Tyus is going to be one of the starters. It's going to be Tyus, Beal, Booker, and Durant, and Nurk, according to the interview. But so we already kind of, I guess, the cat's out of the bag, right? We know what his plan is for the starting lineups. I'm sure we're not going to be able to find out rotations or anything at Suns Media Day. So what are you looking forward to hearing? What kind of questions you want to see asked? What are your expectations, I guess?
Well, I got to say first that NBA Media Day is actually, for me, it's not like a post-game, interviews that you have to, or you can or it's not a post-game interview where you can ask questions. It's all about positivity and the new outlook on the upcoming season. So everything's flowery, right?
Mm-hmm. Even when we were bad, even when we were, what was his name? Was it Beasley, wasn't it? Wasn't he the guy that came?
Michael Beasley?
What was it?
Michael Beasley?
Was it Michael Beasley? Not Malik, right? It was Michael.
Yeah.
And he was on the team, and I think we had Luis Scola and some other people, and I just remember it was going to be a tough year. Was it Malik? Okay, the second, I think he was the second overall pick that year, but he was Michael. Okay, yeah, Boyd is right. Yeah, you were right, Kev. Michael. I remember one question came out that he was eating Skittles a ton, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I eat 5-6 bags of Skittles a day," and I'm like, this is going to be our leading scorer. And it was his chance to come back and show everyone that he deserved it. But it was also clearly Suns franchise. We're hitting reset button here. But yeah, even in that Suns Media Day, I just remember that all the players are there and they're like, we'll see what happens. Maybe we do make the playoffs and make a big run. And it was just oh, okay. So you can always tell there's not going to be a single media day out there, I don't think, where you're going to hear too many people just be I hope we win 20 games. You'll hear some teams say, well, it's a process. We're going to be developing.
I just hope that none of our players would make the same stupid statement that Jaylen Brown did about playing their bench guys 20 minutes against Charlotte, and then they're still gonna win. So I think that's just a stupid comment, and it might come back you in the ass at a later time. But I would say this: I'm pretty. I want to hear the mindset of our new guys, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Tyus, Malik.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not Malik. Who's the other point guard? Sorry, I'll go to this.
Mason Plumlee?
No, the other point guard. The first one.
Monte.
Monte Morris.
Monte Morris, yes.
Monte Morris, Mason Plumlee, and of course the rookies. So I wanna know them more and what their mindset is for the next season. But nothing else actually, man. I'm just excited to see those guys again and kind of in a full season go time mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what about you?
Yeah, no, I mean it's similar. I always I don't know. I always, I appreciate Voida and he's on, so I can blow him a little smoke. But I like some of the fun questions he always asks. When he asked, I think it was Brightside Night, which is live, by the way. Now we'll be able to post that link in the chat. But I think he asked James Jones if he ever goes on NBA 2K and does trade simulations to see what he could get back. And and James answered him in a very serious way. He's like, "Oh, you're always trying to like get better or something like that." But like I like those kind of questions because you can only hear about how like, well, we're going to get in there, we're going to work hard. It's all about come together. We want to work hard, get better every day. Every practice, every game, take it serious, do our best. Build a culture. You can only hear kind of so much of that qualitative analysis for so long that it's kind of fun to hear a little bit about how they're people. So I'm sure we're going to hear a little bit about like Grayson Allen maybe adjusting what he thinks his role is going to be, and he'll certainly have a big one coming off the bench and provide a lot of firepower, I'm sure. And yeah, as you point out, some of the rookies, kind of how they're going to adjust, but no, just anything that kind of gets them a little off balance. I mean, like Booker's usually very straight edge. He's just like, yeah, we're going to come in here. We're going to work hard. We're going to do this. So I don't know, like playing any new video games lately? Are you getting the new Dragon Age at all? Like, I feel like he'd be like, RPGs, I don't have time for that. So I don't know.
His deep, low register voice.
Exactly. Like, I want to know, like, what does Plumlee do when he's not playing his 15 minutes a game? Like, what's he like to do for fun? He's a big man around town. Like, have they seen all the sites yet? I think when Beal was getting introduced last year, I think somebody had asked him, like, if he's already connected with Booker and Durant. And I think he said, "Oh yeah, Booker's already asked me to go hiking with them." I'm like, "Why do you guys go hiking in the desert or something like that in the heat?" It's like, I don't know about this. So yeah, I like those kind of questions to kind of show their personality a little bit and kind of build their story, so to speak.
I think what's common in them for the newcomers is like the weather, the temperature. They're not used to it, especially those from the Midwest or up in the East Coast.
Well, you want any other takes on that, or do you want to head into the boom?
No, actually, we can go ahead and dance.
Let's do it.
What's the name of that nightclub of yours again?
You talking about the Boom Boom Room?
Yeah, the Boom Boom Room. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got a couple of things actually to cover real quick. I'll share my screen here for everyone that's watching on YouTube real quick. But as mentioned, Brightside Night is officially official. And let's see here. Let's get rid of the splash page. And there you go. So be sure to check it out. The 9th annual Brightside Night. You can find it at Bright Side of the Sun, or just Google Dave King's Brightside Night. It has been named after Dave King himself. Now we're going to be playing the Atlanta Hawks. It's such a cool thing. It's one of my favorite things that I do donate to, and where you get to send a kid to a Suns game and kind of make their night. And as we talked about, I think last year was the Sacramento Kings game, where the Suns came roaring back, was it over 22 points, came back and won that game in what was arguably the most exciting regular season game that we had. So I strongly encourage all the Planeteers, if you haven't already, get on over there, check it out, and send some money that way. And we'd really appreciate it if you did.
Yep.
And then the other thing we were going to talk just briefly about was the excitement with the new City Edition jerseys. Talk to us a little bit about this, Kev. You were the one that wanted to talk a little bit about these jerseys. And I'll be honest, when I look at it, I think Looney Tunes and like Coyote Roadrunner.
Oh my goodness. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're a little frozen is all.
I am frozen because my laptop just froze. But this is still going. Okay, so the first time I saw them, it was like, what are we doing here? It's like, is Nike like dropping the ball lately? But I've seen some like edited ones over at Twitter, and they can be better actually with the number and all that. But yeah, I don't think this is up to par with those recent jerseys that the Suns had. Not really close. So I think that's why I had such a high standard
Hmm.
about these jerseys. So for me, as of right now, it's a nay, but we'll see when they eventually wear it. Maybe it's better um, during games. But if you don't you mind if I just hop off a bit because my computer is just really
Oh, sure. Go
okay.
ahead and hop off, and I will go ahead and let everyone know that if you're at all interested in supporting the show, you can buy us a beer at buy me a coffee. They told us that we don't have to just say coffee, and I think most of the Planeteers are a little bit more on the beer drinking side. Josh isn't here. We know he's a bit of a teetotaler, or is he? As he likes to let us know. But cheers to everyone that's already gone on there and supported us. We appreciate it. We are not monetized in any way on YouTube yet or on Twitter, so this is the only exclusive way that you can show your support besides watching, sharing, and doing that. So I appreciate that. Yeah, we could do a buy whiskey as well. Yeah, you know what? I should switch that. I should change up the dollar amounts in case you guys want to buy whiskey. We could do that. Is it really 9:30? Well, yeah, of course it's always 9:30. What? I don't even stand. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, either way. Buy us a beer. You can check it out at buymeacoffee.com/Suns Planet Pod. We are live on there. And again, shout out to those of you who have done it already. We appreciate you. As I mentioned, we'll be drinking all the beer that Josh doesn't. So we'll do that. Are you a rye bourbon or whiskey old fashioned guy? Ooh, these are the great questions that are reserved for the boom room. So if I'm going old fashions, I'm going to be on a bourbon side of this one. Just a little hint of sweetness. The spice of a rye I like, but not so much in the old fashioned. Irish. When I think whiskey, I usually think Irish whiskey. It's too smooth. I like a little boldness, a little bit of the bourbon, either the hint of the sweetness or the hint of the spice from a rye. Yes, but if I'm going with an old fashioned cocktail, that's going to be a bourbon one 9 times out of 10, unless I'm just feeling like doing something a little bit different. But yeah, no, I got to be honest too. As Kevin said, and I mentioned already, Looney Tunes vibes. I don't know. It looks generic to me. The jersey layout. It just reminds me something of like, I don't know, like when you play NBA 2K and you're like shooting free throws and you see people like waving like the cards like "Go PHNX" or like "Go," "Go Team," or it's just like a generic saying that the developers didn't quite know like if there was a like official slogan that the fans use. They just decided to like throw something up, and to me, this just kind of feels very generic. Like Valley, here's a star, Southwest, stylings. I don't know. Not for me, but we got our main man Kev back, and we'll go ahead and boom room. But Kev, are you a old fashioned drinker at all? Do you like that cocktail?
Yeah. Just say yeah, because I'll drink anything actually.
Okay. Well, Darth Vader was asking, do you like rye or bourbon or whiskey more?
I think whiskey is my go-to.
Okay, that's what I thought that. But in the old fashioned, you prefer whiskey?
Like what? Like which ones?
So you're doing an old fashioned. Do you throw whiskey in there, bourbon or rye?
You know what? I don't know any of that. I'll just drink a beer.
Or you'll drink whatever's
whiskey,
handed to you. Yeah,
whatever's handed to me.
There's alcohol in there. There's an orange. There's a cherry. There's some good stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. Keep it fresh. All right. Well, next up on the podcast today, we're going to be jumping into season predictions, and of course, Kevin drops off. There now he's back. Okay, I was going to say I'm putting you on the spot because there's no Hammo. I have to put you on the spot right away. But with the season prediction, so let's go the win-loss record last year. Suns fans, we were 45-37, finishing fourth in the Western Conference. Wait a minute. No, that was 2 years ago. Let's fix this hat. We finished sixth,
We were six.
where we
Yeah.
were 49 and 33. Well, hey, that tells you a little something, doesn't it? We won more games and we finished worse, but we finished in the sixth seed, 49 and 33. So, what do you think for this year, Kev?
I think I'm adding like maybe 5 or 6 wins for this
Ooh.
season.
Okay, so you're thinking 54, 55?
Right. Yep. I'm not yet confident to throw out a 60, but we'll see. Maybe we can do like an in-season, prediction or an updated one around, around a trade deadline, and see if we're at where we're at.
Oh, sure.
And
we'll of course adjust the numbers as we find out more
as the
information.
season goes along. I wanna give a shout out to Justin. Which restaurant was that? Which Filipino restaurant was it? Was there like was that like a restaurant?
He went and got some Filipino food in Phoenix recently. Okay, yeah, we'll have to find out more. But we'll find out real quick here what the over/under is on the predicted Suns win. I'm gonna be a little less confident than you. I'm definitely not throwing out a 60. I think we're gonna hit 50 wins. It's a 1-game improvement. But as much as I think we do need to move up the seeding this year. Finishing 6th, I don't feel comfortable with at all. I do think we'll see an improvement. This is much more. I think last year kind of reset my expectations. To me, it was a little bit, hey, we've got Booker, we've got Durant, we've got Beal, and in the video games we dominate, so it's got to be true. And then real life hits, and you deal with injuries and trying to figure out how 3 extremely talented offensive players can coexist together at the exact same time. I expect marginal. Maybe we could get 51, but I'd feel good with as long as we crack the 50 and go 50 and 32, and we'll see where we go from there. So you're predicting a few more.
Yeah, but I don't mind. Regardless of the record, it's important is to get into that top 6, avoid the play-in. Which I think
for sure
they are going to be.
For me, it's we got to be top 4. 5 or 6, I don't feel good about. Here we go. The over/under is 47.5 right now. So that would be a step back. We won 49 last year. Vegas has us, just a
of course
bit
we're
worse.
Underdogs.
That seems, yeah. Are you surprised that Vegas has us a bit worse?
After the disaster last year, I think it's fair.
Okay.
Despite the improvements that the Suns made overall this last season. So Justin says the place is called Tambayan. Now, Tambayan in Filipino means a place to bystand, basically.
To bystand?
Like
people watch?
No, what I mean is that people stay there and just do nothing.
Yeah, like what we'd call it, just like sitting around and watching
people. Basically.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the NBA Cup, Emirates, the Emirates Cup. Lakers won last season. Hard to predict who is going to work hard for the. It's not even correct to say mid-season tournament because it's not even mid-season, right? It's like first, third,
early.
Yeah.
So the season.
So, who do you think's going to win it?
I don't know.
Okay. You wrote down this question, so I don't know what you want me to do with it. This was your show notes, sir.
Well, of course, I'm going to say it's going to be the Suns, but that's just me being totally biased. But like I said,
you interviewed the Gerald, the Planet Girth, Gerald Bourguet last week, who said, "Don't show your bias. You want to be in this world, and and talk sports. You got to show the people your real analytical mind.
Hey, come on! It's a Suns show.
Right. Okay.
So we have to be.
That's why I actually changed the questions, because you originally put like, who's going to win all the end of season awards? Suns only, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
It doesn't.
Great take.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Who's going to be the MVP? One of the Suns. Best defensive player? One of the Suns.
But
so who do you got besides the Suns winning the NBA Cup?
I think the OKC is going to be like a real good team this coming season with their additions and with the players that they've all retained. So I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, not just in the Emirates Cup, but the whole tournament itself.
Chet Holmgren's going to miss 70 games this season. He's going to snap the leg.
Oh my goodness!
That's the hot take.
Please.
That's the hot take. Actually, even with Isaiah Hartenstein, they'd probably still be just fine.
Right.
So I'll switch that up. But no, my take would be the Orlando Magic. I like what they've been doing out there, building from a young core. They're kind of trying to follow that Oklahoma City Thunder model, but they're not as flush with draft picks. I mean, the Thunder model is quite honestly how, when the Suns were terrible, that's essentially what I was doing on NBA 2K, where it was just like, do everything I can to accumulate a ton of first-round draft picks in the future, and then just start hitting on them. And eventually, what's going to happen to the Thunder is eventually they're going to have so many good young players, they won't be able to like keep them all on the team. They're going to run way past the salary, and they're going to have to just start like letting go exceptional players. But they'll have first-round draft picks to replace them, so they'll be just fine.
And I think if everything goes well for them, before they even let the player go, they've already won a championship. So
that's they won't. The Suns will. We're going to win out. All of them. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but no, I like the. So who do you think would win in a Magic Thunder one game to win it all, first third of the season tourney?
I'm going to go with OKC.
Yeah,
I think they have more upside than Orlando right now, except if Paolo Banchero takes
Banchero's looking great.
Yeah, he is.
He could be tremendous. All right. Well, who is the Eastern Conference champion going to be? We saw, the Celtics are going to be running it back. We saw the breaking news last night. The New York Knicks, hitting up the star power, bringing Karl Anthony Towns in. For all the Planeteers that might not have heard, I'm sure you already did, but Julius Randle out, Dante DiVincenzo out, and all of a sudden Karl Anthony Towns in. So the Knicks could be a threat. 76ers just added Paul George earlier this year. As I said, the Magic are doing kind of a slow burn build-up. There's the Pacers still out there. Tyrese Halliburton, Mr. Gold Medal winner that didn't get off the pine. So there's some options out there. Who do you think is going to win the East?
I'm still going to go with the Celtics. I think that's a very good addition with the Knicks. And I like the fit actually of Cat with that team. I'm just not sure how it is on on the other side of the trade with Randall. You definitely don't want clogging that lane for Anthony Edwards, but I'm still gonna go with the Celtics. I think they're really just fluid because they have their continuity over there, and their coach is an outstanding coach. Really, he's making.
You're a fan of the Tib, Tom Thibodeau?
I'm not really.
Just the Tib. Yeah, I was gonna say, I respect him. If you had me pick a coach to win one game, he would certainly be up there right now. But he reminds me a lot of Mike D'Antoni, not from an offensive flow standpoint, but in I don't want to play anyone past my seventh man. Like minutes wise,
very short rotation.
Log exactly. Like there's reasons why there's NBA players that are 35 right now that it's like, did you play in the Tom Thibodeau system? You might be looking at retirement now. Whereas we're like, Durant's got years and years left.
Hey, Derrick Rose retired.
Exactly. Burned out from the Thibodeau system. Yeah. Jimmy Butler, they're like, oh, he's slowing down. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of like, I don't know if this is the right word, like validates the hearsays of like, hey, this player can't, was injured because of the minutes he's been playing, all that stuff. You see that even in the last season where they are up so much and the starters are still in. So it's kind of weird to see actually.
But
Risking
Celtics,
on
huh?
your star players.
We don't have to keep going on the analysis. Oh, we can't. We'll come back to it. But we'll keep doing season predictions for now. So you got the Celtics running back, huh?
I got the Celtics. How about you?
I would say the Atlanta Hawks. No.
Good one, Jake.
I think it's going to be the Celtics as well. I'll be honest though. I am not. There's an interesting split, I feel like, in NBA media, which is Jason Tatum is a phenomenal player and he's the best player on the Celtics. And then Tatum is like getting benched in the Olympics and and not winning the MVP of the NBA Finals. I think he's a superb player. I'm not going to sit here and NBA fan and be like, he's not even that good. I could do that. He could do everything that I can and can't do to a million levels higher. But I just don't think that he is. I feel like I've said this before, and I know some of the Suns podcasting people and Suns Twitter disagree with this take. The Celtics remind me more of the Detroit Pistons that won the NBA Finals with Ben Wallace. And I don't mean that in the sense that that they're a defensive team, like, and you remember like all the great players from that team. No, I mean that if Tatum went down, I would probably still pick the Celtics to come out of the East. I think they're that stacked with high quality players up and down. I think when Kristaps Porzingis is such an afterthought on your team and still can do so many great things. Drew Holiday beat the heck out of Chris Paul against us in the NBA Finals. He's still an extremely talented point guard. Jaylen Brown is very good. Derek White is very good. You have some tremendous people there. So, does Hammo want to join us?
Ooh.
I guess so. Okay. Ham wants to join in. Maybe he does not like my take for the Boston Celtics, but what's up, Ham?
Fuck, I'm over this shit.
Okay.
God damn. Yeah, so for those who are unaware, I've got a soft tissue infection in my face right now. I'm up at the local hospital. Quite bored. So I thought I'd jump on here and say hello, gentlemen.
Okay. Hello. I hope
we appreciate you, man.
Man, you look like Will Smith in Hitch, man. Like I thought it was like an allergic reaction. And I love the cigarette. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's gonna help it go down a little bit. Oh man, that does not look nice. Yeah, I apologize. It's rough. Yeah, but can you see out of both eyes? That's the important thing.
No more than I normally can.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to stick around, or are you just stopping by to say hi and let everyone know?
I just thought I'd stop by and say good day, fellas.
All right. Well, we appreciate you doing that. You're doing a great job. In with the fans, and we all wish you to get well as soon as you can.
Better, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. And that is why don't trust the Australian medical system. No. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, poor him. That's he's been fighting it all week, and it was like watching an NFL like injury report: questionable, switched down to doubtful, and now Hammo's out for the game. Still trying to recover from that. So, but we wish him the best.
Questionable yesterday. Yeah,
he was questionable. He was doubtful coming into this morning, and then we got the official word he wasn't going to make it. So we both are picking the Celtics to come out of the East. I changed the question instead of who's going to win, because I'm going to guess you're going to be like, the Suns. So who is most likely to threaten the Suns in the West?
You asking me now, or do you want to go first?
We can go with Hammo. No, no, I'm asking you.
The biggest threat to the Suns, I think, are they themselves. I'm kidding. I have to pick a team, right? But I'd probably go. I think
hate you. I hate
my
you.
answer my answer is the same.
Okay.
Oklahoma City. That team's just really legit. I think the trade that happened last night made the Minnesota worse. So I kind of feel confident when they are matched up. Of course, we don't know the full extent of it if they're gonna flip Randall for someone else, because I believe he's on
Hmm.
an expiring. Just correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
So he has a
And he
player
can,
option. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how it works with the new rules, but yeah, he has a player
yeah.
option for next season.
So later in the season, he can basically be traded for someone else.
Mhm.
But
I think he can at
anyway,
the trade deadline. Yeah.
yeah. Jokic is still Jokic, but I don't think Denver is gonna have a run at it again. So I
Mhm.
think OKC is a legit biggest threat for the Suns this season. How about you?
Ooh. Uh, it's I did not catch enough Oklahoma City games. I'll be honest. I know they kind of ran out there with a great record, playing 5 out. That they move fast. They're a strong looking team. I don't know if they're ready for that next step. Next step. They finished first in the West and did very well. The next step would be turning into not just young players doing great things, but like kind of killer mode where they're ready to just start dominating some people. It's
Right, but
interesting.
they beat us like in double figures all the time.
Right.
Last season.
Some of the other teams, that were in the playoffs last year, as you mentioned, the Nuggets, without Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I do think they take a half step back. I'm not totally sold on Murray right now. The Clippers, we're never sold on them, and they lost Paul George now, and they're optimistic about Kawhi Leonard, but man, that knee, I feel like a shot. I honestly, I don't know how the Mavericks did what they did. I know Kyrie's very good, and Luka's obviously a very talented player. I don't buy into the rest of their role players being able to do everything, and so I feel like they will be kind of exposed a little bit more. So threat to the Suns, I think the Pelicans will be improved. I think the Kings will be improved. But I'm going to go out on a limb and actually say, even with the trade that just took place, the Timberwolves are a threat because Julius Randle is not the worst three-point shooter of all time.
Yeah.
He plays a very different style of basketball than the modern NBA. He likes to go old school in bully ball, power forward position. But the Suns, if Coach Bud does not get the Suns firing more three-pointers, then the Timberwolves could very much be a threat to the Suns because Conley's a strong defender. DiVincenzo's a strong defender. We saw what Jalen McDaniels was able to do to get in front of Beal and Booker and Durant and frustrate them. Gobert can frustrate Nurk. And Randall's a great rebounder. He's not an elite defender, but I would say he's probably a better defender than Karl-Anthony Towns. Towns might get more blocks, but Randall can kind of stay with his man. And as I mentioned, bully ball. So as much as Randall might cause some problems offensively, I could see the Wolves being even better defensively inside the three-point line. And the Suns love to take mid-range shots and attack the basket. And if you've got all 5 guys on the Timberwolves very comfortable with Anthony Edwards crowding inside, everyone's saying, well, Edwards going to get frustrated trying to drive to the basket. Absolutely. But he was frustrated last year too, and you had Karl-Anthony Towns sitting on the outside. So, I don't know how much more Randall's going to disrupt that. And I think the DiVincenzo addition, he was playing very well last year as a secondary creator, as a good defender. So I'm actually
intrigued with the Dante thing and the McDaniels thing when they share together on the floor.
Yeah, that's going to be a scary amount of defense. Yeah.
Dante's like a pretty decent defender.
Mm-hmm.
And you put that alongside with McDaniels, and you have Dante's three-point shooting as well.
Right. Yeah, and that'll help make up for some of the stuff they lost with Karl-Anthony Towns. So until we can kind of change the beliefs, because I don't feel like Karl-Anthony Towns beat us. I feel like the Wolves team, their system beat us, and I don't feel like the system changed overnight with them letting Karl-Anthony Towns go to New York in the trade. So right now, it's the Timberwolves for me. But you're right. I think the Thunder are going to scare some people, and we'll see.
The shit out of me.
Yeah, if the Nuggets kind of wake up a little bit and reclaim some of their past glory. All right, so let's do some rapid fire ones because we are coming down to the end. But MVP that's not on the Suns, who's it going to be?
I'm gonna go this year with Luka.
I was going to say, yep. I've talked to his mom last night in my room, and she's very high on her son. So I would say Luka might actually get in shape this year. But wild card, I'm going to go Paolo Banchero. Let's throw his name back out there a little bit. That guy deserves some more love.
MVP?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Oh, I got to spice it up a little bit, Kev. I can't just be like, Suns are the best and Luka. Yeah. So what do you got for a 6-man? Who do you think's gonna come off the bench and win that one?
You know what? I don't know any other
And I'll
mans,
open it up to Suns players too, if you want to.
Yeah, because so I'm gonna go with Grace.
That's what I was going to. Because first one to jump. Yeah, Grayson Allen led the league in 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see if he can do it again in a reserve role where he's hitting closer to 20 minutes a game, maybe a little more than that. But Grayson Allen is my pick and your pick, and Sir Hammo's pick. And actually, Hammo's got Shea Gilgeous as the MVP. So, well, let's see. Rookie of the year. This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google who the rookies were again.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go out of the limb and say Ryan.
You want to say Zachary Risasher?
Let's see. Oh my gosh.
Well, let me jump in ahead of you.
Okay,
let me jump in ahead of you. Zach Edey, the Canadian-born freak of nature. Zach Edey dominated college 2 years in a row as like the college player of the year. I understand that his style is a little bit old school, but I think the Grizzlies could find a way to plug him in. I could see him eventually starting, maybe not at the beginning of the season, but starting with Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant on the Grizzlies. And we even talk about the Grizzlies being a threat. They're also low key. I think I could see them winning the in-season tournament too, coming back and reminding everyone who John Morant is type stuff. But that would be my thought, would be Zach Edey. So who else you got?
Can I say Bronny James just for the heck of it? No, I'm kidding. I think the guy that Minnesota was traded for, that rookie, I believe his name is Dillingham. I think he could be. He's an offensive power, I believe, from what I've seen. And
what position does he play?
I believe is he a shooting guard? I believe so.
Okay. I don't know. I'm curious if you just like read a name, you're like offensive threat. Well, somebody's gonna have to score the ball, and it can't only be Anthony Edwards on that team.
For sure. He is. Oh, he's a Kentucky Wildcat. Point guard, shooting guard. Okay, yeah. Okay. So I was right.
There you go. Coach of the year. Who you got?
I want to say Bud, but who was the last year's? Was it the OKCs or? Or was it Joe?
That was Mark Daigneault.
Okay.
OKC. Yep.
OKC. Yeah. I want to go. Yeah. I'll go with Bud. So some of you will might like argue that the Suns are supposed to do like what they have to do, right? Like have that great record. But I think when you get a guy like that and then improve like or you do a marginal improvement in terms of the win-loss column, it's still deserving of a rookie or a coach of the year. Same thing with what happened with Monty Williams, right? Everyone is expecting for the Suns to be good that year. That he wouldn't be deserving of the award. Yeah,
it's kind of I feel like they kind of always joke that it's the kiss of death for a lot of coaches, because it's like, oh, we all thought your team was supposed to be terrible, and then sometimes that team ends up still having a lot of road bumps for a year or two, and then that coach ends up getting sent away. So that can certainly happen. My first thought went actually to Sacramento Kings, but I forget Mike Brown won it 2 years ago. So I'm going to go kind of unexpected, and I'm going to say Doc Rivers, because I feel like the NBA media loves Doc, and they always want people talking about Doc. Even though I still don't really understand why the Bucks just decided to fire their coach and be like, oh yeah, we're going with Doc Rivers in the middle of the season. But I could see the Bucks coming back and being much improved. And if that is, I think they're going to give a lot of credit to Doc. And so I'm going to go with Doc Rivers for right now.
Okay. Well, I'm not really sold on the Dame Giannis thing still.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see. A full off season together in training camp. If Doc doesn't get it going, Doc's going to be out pretty quick.
Doc's gone.
Yeah. So what do you got for Defensive Player of the Year? And then we'll move to our last Q4.
Defensive
Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year. Wemby. I'll go with Wemby.
Ooh, I like that. It's funny. I wouldn't. He wasn't even jumping out in my head there for a moment.
Just say Wemby.
No, I'm going to say Drew Holiday. I'm going to say Drew Holiday.
Holiday.
And, yeah, I'm going to go back to the Celtics. I feel like they're going to try and give it to him, mostly because I tried to pick him as my finals MVP, and I wanted that bet to pay off so badly because he was going off at like plus 700 to 1, which is shocking that it was that low because you have Jaylen Brown and apparently Jason Tatum is phenomenal on that team. But, Hammo says he's like Wemby, but Chet Holmgren is another good option as well.
Yeah.
But, no, you're right. It usually goes to the big man. You don't think Rudy Gobert's going to grab another?
No, his time is over.
His time? He just won it.
Yeah, and now it's over.
Hope you enjoyed it. Less than a year ago, you got that.
Is that
over?
I mean, does he have like 4?
I don't know.
3 or 4. Well, Wemby says that's enough out of you.
Yeah. Let me take a quick look. Loading it up here. So Rudy won last year, and 2021, 2019, and 2018. So, yep, 4 times.
All right.
In between, Jaren Jackson Jr., Marcus Smart, Giannis, and Draymond Green was the one winning it before Rudy Gobert, Kawhi Leonard a couple times before that. And then in 2014, 10 years ago, and that's when he knew his time was up, Joakim Noah.
Oh, goodness.
And that's when Kevin said, your time is done. You've won it. You're done. So you're out.
You don't see any point guards winning that award, don't you?
Marcus Smart was, that was the rare one.
Oh, yeah.
Marcus
Smart,
Marcus Smart, yeah. And, of course, as Suns fans, we were really big trying to get behind Bridges to win it. But it ended up going to Smart for sure. All right. Well, Q4, last topic for the end of this show, guys. But as was mentioned, a fan favorite is going to be making a comeback, at least on a training camp deal, and that is Frank the Tank Kaminsky is coming back, and he wasn't playing anywhere for a little bit. Did he play anywhere last year?
I think he was on a roster.
Oh,
he was in a roster.
It says, yeah.
I think he was in an NBA roster like 2 seasons ago, but last year I don't think so.
It says,
so last year?
Yeah, last year. So after his Phoenix time, he played a little bit in Atlanta, a little bit in Houston, and that was the 2022-2023 season. For 2023-2024, so last year, he played in Serbia.
Okay.
So what do you think about Frank? So the Suns still have one roster spot open. You look at who's getting these training camp deals. Suns have a lot of names on there. You know,
a bunch of names that we don't know.
A lot of bodies are being brought in to, you know, to take a look. It's almost like summer league. You're wondering if anyone's actually going to stand out.
Gonna be there, right? Yeah,
that's right.
We've talked about this in the pod before, where like Suns fans really love the comebacks, right?
Oh God, yeah. If you show us love, we'll love you forever. Yeah. And Frank loves the Valley. Yeah,
exactly. But actually, I'm pretty happy with Frank going back. Not even though it's just like a training camp deal, and he has to like fight over a roster spot. But I think the Suns could use a little more playable players for that 15th spot. But hey, I like it. I like it for Frank. Gives him that opportunity to showcase what he still got, and he's not. It's not like he would spend time away from basketball. He was still playing like last for a few years after the Suns, and he was exposed to international basketball, if you will, playing with Serbia. Nice to go back to a sunny weather. That's what I could say. But
the sun shines in Serbia.
Well, yeah, but it's generally cold, right? But
Southeastern Europe, it's not too bad.
I don't think that he can like take the final roster spot. I think the Suns could look elsewhere, or some of the guys that they have signed and they see more potential. But right now, I'm happy that he's with the Suns. That's what I could say.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say he does get the last roster spot. So he's going to be 31 this year. It's no spring chicken, but it's not like he's over the hill either and can't move anymore. His last like run in the NBA in the 2023 season, or excuse me, 2022 season. He wasn't playing hardly at all. And it was for the Hawks and the Rockets, who weren't trying to, well, I mean, the Hawks were trying, but he wasn't, a role player for them. But with us in his last season, he was getting out and playing some minutes. And I still remember that NBA Finals run where, of course, we all look back and say we should have played Frank a little bit sooner after Dario went down. We needed somebody else to kind of step in, and he stepped up and was bombing away some threes, which I think is actually going to be the reason why he's able to make it. So, and kind of watching some other Suns content lately, it's been, okay, can we win? You even brought this up in your interview with Gerald. Can we win with Yusuf Nurkic? And after Yusuf Nurkic is Mason Plumlee. Well, Plumlee does not much different than Nurkic. He's probably not as much of a creator.
He's just a better finisher, I think.
Yeah, but they're both big guys that like to rebound. They're, they're good defenders-ish, but they're not shot blockers, really. Frank's not much of a shot blocker either, but Frank can
offense.
He can hang out and shoot threes. And so if we want to pull somebody out and not sacrifice size, if we want to go and not have to put Kevin Durant out there at center again, which I was always kind of nervous with, after more than a couple of plays up and down the court, I was like, why is he guarding a center? I don't think Durant wants to do that. So I like a Frank Kaminsky move, and it doesn't even have to be, break glass, case of emergency. It could be hey, you know what? Let's play 5 out. This game a little bit more. Let's spread out the defense. Let's go up against the Timberwolves and make Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert have to step outside the paint and guard all of our players. So I could see that being used. Maybe Bulls in that role, but we kind of, at least with last year's roster, we noticed that Bol was much more comfortable as a 4 than the 5. Well, that's
do you remember this? Do you remember the string of games where Frank Kaminsky was scoring like 15 a game?
I do, yeah. It was very solid. Very solid. Well, that does it for us, Planeteers. I appreciate you. I see 138 of you are watching today. Very much appreciate you guys coming by. I saw Ra trying to troll us a little bit in the comments saying, where was the episode for Dave King? We had Dave King on the show. We actually had him live. Go back and check that out and honor the man himself. Dave King, of course, is a big inspiration, and we connected, and we are sharing Dave King's Bright Side Night as we did on this channel and broadcast that in the Boom Room. So, Rao, go feel better about yourself, my man. Go donate and send some kids to a Suns game and do it on behalf of Dave King. I'm Jake, a.k.a. Fallen Founder. That's where you can find me on Twitter. Kev, tell the people where they can find you.
Hey, Twitter at I'm Kevin PS. And some of the work that I've been doing is on brightsideofthesun.com. We have plenty of great writers out there, very good content, guys. I suggest you check it out.
I feel like since that Gerald interview, you have gotten a little bit more enthusiasm for busting out the proverbial pen and drafting some content. Is this true? Should I tell Voido to get ready? You're just going to start being like, "Hey, article's ready. Article's done." He'd be like, "I didn't tell you about anything." You're gonna be like, "It doesn't matter." I wanted to say, like, what would this player be like if he had Filipino food? You know, you could do the content that nobody thinks of.
I will say this though, after that interview with Gerald, is like the what do you call that? The urge to write just doubled, right?
Yeah.
You just have to find time. Oh my God, the K-Sluts. By the way, I forgot to plug those. Guys, K-Sluts is still in the works. That's
still in the works. I thought they were headed to the stores.
Yeah, I'm gonna recall them. I'm gonna have them recalled because the design and the show has to be modified, but it'll be on the market soon, people.
All right, that's what we love to hear.
Oh, by the way, check out, if you haven't done so already, just check out that interview with Gerald Bourget. Me and Hammo did a pre-recorded show with him.
Yes. Yeah, no, that was great, and it was great to kind of get some insight, especially leading into Suns Media Day. So I encourage you guys all. That was our last episode that aired last weekend, and it's now up on Spotify and wherever podcasts are available. I finally got to it after I got back from the wonderful country, small country known as Belize. Well, thanks again, Planeteers. Oh, go ahead.
Last one, Gio. Yes, I'm going to have them in purple colorway.
Okay.
Close.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, another opportunity just to signal to you. Pay attention. We lost a great one. Al McCoy, take us home.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay with us as the Suns get set to shine here on their home court.
Here's Perry. Cigar Hurd. Here's the jump shot. Good! It's good!
Al McCoy with you courtside. Pumps up a three.
Shazam! He ties it. Hey, D.A. Al and Tim up here.
Happy birthday!
Right. Yeah.
I know it's the ball, but happy birthday, baby!
Here's Cameron Payne out on top. Durant, three-pointer straight away.
Shazam! I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in this arena this afternoon, to all of those that are watching and listening on radio and TV. Thank you for allowing me to tell the story of the Suns for 51 great years.
That pretty much wraps things up here. And for one last time, this is Al McCoy saying thanks for being there. Thanks for being with us tonight. And from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, we'll just say so long for now.